Imagine a wall you can't see on a map. Not bricks or concrete, but trees, dug-in pits, and a million small decisions. They call it the Great Green Wall. Its mission: stop the Sahara from swallowing farms, villages, and futures. It sounds simple. The reality is harder and more interesting. The Sahel, the band of land south of the Sahara, has lost huge swathes of productive land to drought and erosion. Left unchecked, desertification eats food security, drives migration, and fuels conflict. The UN and partners say land degradation already threatens billions of hectares worldwide. Reversing it requires trillions in investment. Recently, the UN called for roughly $2.6 trillion to reverse land damage and build resilience by 2030. The Great Green Wall began as a political idea, a band of trees stretching from Senegal to Djibouti. Over time, it became a mosaic of solutions: agroforestry, restored rangelands, water harvesting systems, and community food forests. The targets are ambitious: restore 100 million hectares, sequester carbon, and create millions of jobs by 2030. The initiative is now recognized and accelerated by UN agencies including UNCCD, FAO, and UNDP. Here's the practical toolkit: small, cheap, scalable. Farmer-managed natural regeneration, FMNR. Instead of planting saplings from scratch, farmers protect and prune the tree shoots that sprout from old roots and stumps. It's low cost, fast, and already spread across millions of hectares in the Sahel. FMNR has been a major driver of regreening success in countries like Niger. Water harvesting and zai pits. Tiny basins and contour trenches trap the scarce rains, concentrate nutrients, and give young plants a fighting chance. These techniques turn a single rainy season into a long-term recovery strategy. Agroforestry and parklands. Farmers plant or protect trees on croplands to shade soil, fix nitrogen, produce fruit and fodder, creating food security while rebuilding ecosystems. Community nurseries and youth programs. Trees need local ownership. Standalone plantation projects failed in the past. What works now is locally driven nurseries, training, and livelihoods tied to restoration. UNDP and partners have been pushing this community-first model. Progress is mixed but real. The UNCCD's tracking and the Great Green Wall Accelerator report measurable gains. Tens of millions of hectares put under restoration activities, and hundreds of thousands of jobs created. But the original 100 million hectare goal is far from complete. Recent UN reporting credits the Great Green Wall with restoring roughly 18 million hectares and creating some 350,000 jobs, while many groups count additional local regreening efforts that push the total higher. The hard truth: current funding and coordination remain the bottlenecks. So, what role does the UN play? Three main roles. 1. Coordination and standards. UNCCD acts as the technical hub, tracking progress, setting restoration targets, and aligning national plans. It helps turn hundreds of local projects into a coherent continent-wide strategy. 2. Technical support and knowledge. FAO and UNDP help adapt low-tech methods, like FMNR and water harvesting, to local conditions. They fund pilot projects, build nurseries, and run training programs. 3. Mobilizing finance and partnerships. The UN raises political attention and helps leverage international finance. But it's not a full bankroll. Recent pushes, like the Great Green Wall Accelerator and donor commitments, injected fresh funding and renewed momentum. Still, experts say much more capital is needed. 4. Scene 6, Success Stories, 633, 730. Visuals. A village with trees, women harvesting fruit, school kids under shade. There are bright spots, pockets in Niger, Senegal, and Ethiopia, where FMNR and community forestry have transformed water availability, improved crop yields, and created jobs. In many of these places, what looked like lifeless soil grew shade trees, food gardens, and small enterprises, all because farmers chose to invest time and protect regrowth. Independent studies and NGOs have documented these quiet revolutions in the Sahel. Problems remain. Scale-up is limited by money, political instability, cross-border coordination, and the temptation to plant fast but unsuited monocultures. Satellite tracking and data sharing are getting better, but without reliable long-term funding and local ownership, gains can be reversed. Recent UN and independent reviews stress that unless we match ambition with finance and governance, targets will slip. This isn't just Africa's problem. Restoring degraded land stabilizes more than local farms. It sequesters carbon, reduces forced migration, and reduces the risk of conflict. That's why the UN frames land restoration as a global priority. Here is what to take away. The Sahara isn't being held back by a single miracle. It's being fought inch by inch, by farmers protecting sprouts, by low-tech trenches that hold rain, by community nurseries, and by UN agencies that coordinate, advise, and try to mobilize money. The outcome will depend less on grand plans and more on dozens of small, stubborn decisions that protect soil and livelihoods. That's where the real battle is being won or lost.